Someday, monkeys, someday. Someday I'm gonna be home. Someday we're gonna be happy. Oh, that's so good. We got a lot to talk about today. How's that level? Is that level all right? Good, good, good. Welcome to Monkey Time. We're here live every Wednesday at 8. Just you and me. How you doing? You happy? Let's be happy. I can hear it in here, Carol. I don't know why. But anyway, so we got a lot to talk about. So can we talk about Bradley Manning first? Number 6, maybe? Oh, there's that. I put up a bunch of links about Bradley Manning today before coming to the show. It's worth looking at them. This is the key point. This is the key point. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They couldn't even prove harm in court. And they wouldn't let Bradley Manning provide evidence for why he did what he did. They wouldn't let him provide evidence about the collateral murder video, which is the thing that first really got him going. The 2007 shooting by U.S. troops of innocent civilians. Helicopters, the whole bit. You've seen the video, right? Let's not forget what this is about. It's about a young guy questioning his sexuality in the military, poverty-stricken, alcoholic parents, young guy. Seeing stuff that made his conscience cringe. Yes, he leaked secrets. Can we put up number 7? Yeah. He offered to plead guilty to that, to breaking the law. He did. Obama's Justice Department said, no, we're not going to let you plead guilty to breaking the law. We want to try you as a spy under the 1917, that's 1917, Carol, the 1917 Espionage Act, passed at the height of the Red Scare during the U.S. involvement, U.S. getting ready to get involved in World War I. Ridiculous to charge a guy who says, I will plead guilty. You can sentence me up to 20 years. I will plead guilty to leaking secrets. If you compare Bradley Manning's sentence to the sentence of other people, not just murderers and rapists, which of course his sentence is vastly worse than most murder. The average murder sentence, Carol, in the United States is 24 years. That's what I read one place. 24 years. Crazy. Obama's Justice Department, and I don't care what you think of Obama personally, he's off on this. And he's off on the NSA spying thing. He's just really sold us down the river on this. Insult. Manning said, I'll plead guilty to that. Obama said, no, we're going to prosecute you as a spy. Luckily, the judge threw out that. The judge threw out that charge, the aiding the enemy stuff. But still gave Bradley Manning 35 years. Crazy. Government couldn't even prove any harm. They didn't. Wouldn't let Bradley Manning talk about why he did what he did. That was not admissible as evidence. Horrible, horrible. Press access to the trial was limited. Just disgusting all around. One other thing worth mentioning. Let's keep in mind what happened here. Manning leaked to WikiLeaks after places like the New York Times ignored him. That's what happened. Mainstream media had the chance, New York Times, other outlets had the chance, they turned Manning down, ignored him. So Manning went to Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. And at first, let's not forget, Carol, let's not forget this, at first, this is important, WikiLeaks only released heavily redacted, selected bits of the files that Manning gave them. Yes. Now, had the New York Times responded in a timely way to Manning instead of ignoring him, they could have worked together. But WikiLeaks then, finally WikiLeaks has them. They say, we're going to publish them, and do you want to work with us? And for a while, that's what they did. Then, this is important, Carol, then, this is all on my Twitter feed. You can go to twitter.com/tmormon, and the links are there. You can read them for yourself. Then, yeah, there it is. Yeah, then, a Guardian editor, David Lee, published a password in a book that WikiLeaks had given him. He swears that Julian Assange told him the password would expire in a couple hours. Other people say it doesn't matter. You just showed people how WikiLeaks does its passwords, you know? Still, here's what happened. A number of factors came together. I'm not just blaming David Lee of The Guardian, but a Guardian editor wrote a book and published a WikiLeaks password. Other articles then started writing about it. Other people put things together. Somebody on Twitter posted a link to the full files, or to many of the files. And so WikiLeaks said, well, at this point, government officials have them. They know what we've got. Let's let the whole world know. And that is how we got that huge document dump with unredacted names. And, you know, I don't agree with that. I think that was a bad move, and other people have criticized WikiLeaks for it. But that's what happened. That's how that huge document dump with all the supposed danger that the U.S. government could not prove in Manning's trial, all this danger, all this harm, never got proven. No harm, just embarrassment. That shouldn't be enough for 35 years. That sentence is disgusting. Keep in mind that Edward Snowden and the people working with Edward Snowden are very, very selectively, very carefully releasing documents. And all they're doing is sharing with the public stuff that we did not know, that many, maybe not most, but many citizens across the world are astonished to learn. We have had U.S. senators talking about this National Security Agency spying, this huge spying. Huge. That's huge. Here, look. This is how huge. Huge. Spying. Oh, they're only 2 hops from the terrorists, Carol. 2 hops. That's what they say. Secret courts, secret court orders, these national security letters that can get you to force to turn over your whole business to the FBI or to the NSA, right? You can't even talk to your lawyer about what these national security letters say? Anyway, the point is, we had senators like Ron Wyden trying to hint that something really seriously wrong was going on here, but I can't talk about it. Even though I'm privy to all this, Intelligence Committee information, I can't tell you what's really going on. But Senator Wyden, this is a senator, isn't some schmo. Although that doesn't follow logically, Carol. No. Okay, scratch that. Senators can be schmoes. But Ron Wyden's not a schmo. He's been trying to raise the alarm for a couple years on this. And now, finally, after Snowden had the guts to do what he did, we're having the serious conversation about these secret courts and the secret oversight. Can you put up number 9, Carol? Thanks. About these secret courts and the secret oversight and this massive collect-it-all mentality about your emails, your phone, everything, right? We're finally getting to see the stuff that Ron Wyden, a senator, with privy to this stuff, was been trying to warn us about, only because Edward Snowden had the guts to do what he did. And now here comes Obama. We want to, talk honestly about this and have a good conversation. Obama's so full of crap on this. So full of crap. The only reason he's sitting there in front of us telling us, we got to have this serious conversation. The only reason is because Edward Snowden leaked the stuff. That was in the public interest. Government doing secret stuff is wrong. Obama used to know that. Edward Snowden is a hero for leaking this and forcing this conversation to happen. So, the Electronic Frontier Foundation finally won a Freedom of Information Act request to look at this October 2011 FISA court decision, FISA, the oversight court, that said just how bad the NSA has been screwing this up. Again, go to my Twitter feed and you'll see links to specific articles discussing this stuff. Turns out The NSA had been lying and misleading the court that was supposed to be its oversight for years. And when the court found out about this, what did they say? Well, we'll just let it go. Seriously, that's what they said. Oh, well, we'll give them the presumption of regularity. This is a legal term for government employees. The presumption of regularity, even though they've been lying to us for 3 years, more than that, about the scope and the specifics of this program, we'll just go ahead and let them do that some more. And can we put up, here's the next one. It turns out that every single one of the judges on this FISA court, the oversight court for the National Security Agency, are Republican appointees appointed by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Roberts, a conservative. There is no opposition presented to any of these requests for eavesdropping from the NSA. There's no advocate for anybody on the other side. And all the judges are Republican appointees. Finally, we get news in the newspaper today that Roberts chose a Democrat, finally, to be on there. I think there are 2 Democrats now, both of which were appointed, are conservative Democrats, appointed by Republicans. Where is the half of the country that votes liberal represented on this FISA court? Where? We're not there. And we wouldn't have known any of this. We wouldn't be having this conversation except for 2 things. Ed Snowden. Same thing with Bradley Manning. Government could not prove any direct harm. It could prove a lot of embarrassment, but no direct harm. Bradley Manning gets 35 years, that poor kid. 20 years. He agreed to plead to charges that would have given him a 20-year sentence. That's the kind of country we're in, monkeys. You can't even know when the government is spying on you, and you can't even talk to your lawyer when you get a secret letter from the FBI. You can't even tell. There are things in these letters that you're not even allowed to talk to your lawyer about. What is that? Is that democracy, Carol? Carol doesn't answer. She doesn't want the FBI knocking on her door. Carol doesn't want the FBI knocking on her door. Oh my goodness. That's not democracy. I'll say it. You can call it a lot of things. But secret courts, secret letters you can't even talk about the contents of which with your own lawyer. Well, that was a terrible English sentence. Secret letters, the contents of which you can't even talk about with your own lawyer? Really? That's a democracy? It's ridiculous. And it's all because they keep you so scared of terrorism, a relatively minor risk. I know people don't like me saying that, but it's a relatively minor risk. And if you're giving up the whole damn country because you're scared of, terrorism, then you're being a damn fool. Don't be so scared. All right, can we move on, Carol? All right, we're going to move on. Oh, what do we got to talk? Can we talk about McCrory? Oh, these people are so not ready for prime time. I admit I'm not ready for prime time, but these people, this Diaz and these little kids, these 24-year-old kids making 80 grand a year. Carol, here's a scenario. You ready? Here's a scenario. Democratic governor hires a PR kid, 24 years old, pays him 80 grand. Average PR salary for somebody his age is like 30 grand. Even that's high for PR people. They're generally scummy. But that's just my opinion. But Democratic governor does that? You don't think the John Locke Foundation would be all over that crap, Carol? The average private salary for, this type of job is $50,000 a year less. You don't think Art Pope would be like screaming if he was budget director and that happened, right? Under a Democrat? Or, well, he wouldn't be budget director, but you know what I mean. From his lofty perch, looking down on us mortals, Mr. Art Pope, sitting there. Carol, you can see my naked crotch. What are you doing? Move that camera down. That's scary. Art Pope's not scary. This monkey crotch is scary. That's scary right there for you. Art Pope monkey crotch. I'll bet it's not taken.com. I'll bet we could get that one, Carol. Art Pope monkey crotch shots.com. Oh, I can't believe you let that happen on TV, on live TV. So anyway, Art Pope monkey crotch, what was I saying? Well, I was saying Art Pope monkey crotch, but no, oh yeah. Can you imagine what John Hood from the John Locke Foundation, the apoplexy he would be having 18 heart attacks at once if Bev Perdue hired some 24-year-old kid to be the head, some high position in the Department of Health and Human Services at 50 grand a year more than the average salary for that kind of position in the private sector. So where's John Hood and the John Locke Foundation now? Oh, listen, Carol, listen, you can almost hear him. Oh, no, must have been a skeeter. Just a little skeeter buzzing. Can't hear him on this one. So anyway, they're just circling the wagons and defending this. Oh, you're so ageist. You don't think a 24-year-old kid with no experience deserves to make 50 grand a year more than the comparable position in the private sector. Right. They're all suddenly defenders of youth now. I love that. So anyway, let's talk a little bit. Okay, you live in town. You live in the capital city. You know people. You know reporters, you know other folks, you know people who used to be reporters that work in government now, you know people who used to work in government that are now reporters, although not many of those. You know a lot of people around town because you've been here a long time, right? And so what happens is you tend to know people who hang out sometimes in their jobs with Pat McCrory and Pat McCrory's staff. I'm not going to say where or how these stories come down to us, but they're really funny. Because what you see, or what you hear from people who have ordinary people doing their jobs who happen to have interactions with the governor, Pat McCrory, and his staff, what I'm hearing anyway. And Carol, this is pure gossip. Right on. This is pure gossip. This is like TMZ style crap. We got TMZ, we got Pat McCrory with his pants down around his ankles kind of stuff. This is what we're talking about. But no, really, just to be serious for a moment. There are people around town who deal regularly with Pat, who are nonpartisan in their jobs are nonpartisan, who deal regularly with Pat McCrory and his staff. And what you hear after the third or fourth story, you start to think, wait, that was not that was, you start to think, there we go. That's the sound. I'm slowly getting this. I'm getting good. Monkey crotch. Okay, see? I'm totally down. I got the monkey crotch part down right. People are going to love the monkey crotch. Pat McCrory monkey crotch. Okay, so. I'm going to title this week's episode Monkey Crotch. Carol said she's going to title this week's episode Monkey Crotch. Here, can I rub the monkey crotch? Whoa, I don't want to show that. Oh, I can't reach him. I can reach Pat McCrory's staff with the monkey crotch, but not Pat. So anyway, what are we doing? Okay, so the stories you hear are of a rude, disorganized group of people who don't seem to really like each other. Seriously. That's what I'm kind of pointing to here. People who come to events unprepared, staffers who don't seem to know what they're doing, people who don't seem to really get along and kind of snipe at each other a lot. McCrory kind of looking around in a daze like, what? And they're kind of rude. That's the stories. I keep hearing them. I've heard 3 or 4 of them now from people, ordinary people who deal with McCrory, on a regular basis or semi-regular basis. And they just say these people are just like, never a thank you, never going out of their way to like appreciate the people who kind of put a room together for them. I know it's their job, but he's the governor, right? He's like, hey, good job. That means a lot, Just rude, cold, and just kind of disorganized. That's all I'm saying. That's the stories we're hearing. TMZ, Carol. Flash the crotch. So anyway, I just wanted to pass that along. It's pure gossip. You can believe it or not. Can we put up number 11? Yeah. So you know how all the websites know where you are, right? You know, all the websites know your geographical location, cookies or not, whatever. They all know your history. You know, websites, you know, this is another area where we didn't have any say, but all websites can track you. They put these little cookies on you, and they track all the other websites you go to. I never gave permission for that. What? What is that? I never said yes. And if you don't do it, then they say, well, we need cookies to give you a better website experience. It's like, bull crap. You know, you can give me the cookies, but you can't track all the other websites I go to. Now we have to like tell them, do not track me. When did the default become, you can track me? You can know all the other websites I go to. That's the default online now. How did that happen? I was here when the internet first got started among the populace, right? I mean, I was on it in 94. That's late in the internet terms. It really is. That's late. I mean, I'm not saying I was one of the pioneers or anything, but you know, as soon as it hit the public, I jumped on board. And it wasn't like that early on. It wasn't like, websites could not track all the other websites you went to. And they decided they wanted to do that, and then a third-party company started DoubleClick, you know, and all those folks start selling that. And now, everywhere you go online, it's not the government, just the government, it's private companies. They're selling and buying all this information about you, making a profit on tracking where you go. And they say, oh, we don't attach your name to it, but that doesn't matter. They have enough details. They put 2 or 3 databases together, and they got it. So anyway, what am I talking about? Don't say monkey crotch. I'm done with that. Oh yeah. So I go to websites and I get conservative ads targeting Kay Hagan. And one of the most interesting, like Jim Romanesco's media news site, and you know, all these sites that are political sites, but you know, some are partisan, some are not. So anyway, I get these targeted ads that are aimed at Republicans just because I'm from North Carolina, I'm guessing. Kay Hagan, where is Kay Hagan? Why is Kay Hagan standing with Obama on NSA surveillance? And I'm like, really? Republicans, right-wingers, anti-Kay Haganites, they're trying to attack Kay Hagan for the surveillance stuff? Where the hell's Richard Burr been on this? Is Richard Burr, the Republican senator from North Carolina, where is he? Where's he been pushing for more, you know, an adversarial system on these FISA courts, where the people who are getting targeted actually have an advocate, even though they don't know it, that says, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. You know, this person doesn't deserve to have all their emails and phone records scooped up. So you got conservatives trying to make hay out of Kay Hagan not, you know, like, you know, standing with Obama on this surveillance. But the Republicans want to have it both ways. The Republicans are the staunchest supporters of Obama. Carol, when the House voted to defund this kind of surveillance, it was mostly Republicans who voted the Obama position. It was amazing.
Look at that, getting along.
It was the Democrats like Nancy Pelosi who was like, no, don't do this. And David Price, like, well, we have concerns, like mealy-mouthed David Price usually is. We have concerns, but, you know, we can't do anything drastic, like actually, you know, do something about it, right? God, I wish David Price retired and we had Brad Miller in there. Oh, David Price, that will go down in your history as the worst decision you ever made, not retiring when you had that chance to do it gracefully. Give us Brad Miller in your seat. Ugh. Retire, David Price, you're done, it's over, goodbye, goodbye. Oh, we want to thank our sponsors. Yeah, those are good people. Those are all really good people. I saw I got some great CDs at Ed McKay the other day. Lily's Pizza is always delicious. There are other pizza places coming up, making them up their game, but Lily's is still the best. It is, I think. Name a better pizza place than Lily's. Okay, so anyway, we'll see you next week. How much time we got, Carol? Minute and a half. Okay, that's enough time to diss on Richard Burr a little bit more. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I can do it. Oh, Richard Burr. Monkey crotch. Oh, monkey crotch on Richard Burr. That's what we're going to do for you. No, seriously. Republicans are trying to have it both ways. The Republicans are the strongest supporters of Obama, but I'm seeing targeted ads aimed at me saying, why is Kay Hagan standing with Obama on the surveillance issue? It's like, what? Where's Richard Burr? All right, what do we got next? Oh, there's all kinds of neat stuff coming up this weekend. The Saturday market at Rebus Works is really good. They have food trucks and they have food and garden, produce and crafty people. It's a really, they've been having Saturday morning yoga classes, Carol. Really, really neat stuff. Let's see, hopscotch is coming up. That's kind of cool. Oh. What? Oh, yes. There it is. October 8th. Raleigh. You can vote in this if you're registered to vote. If you live as students, you can do this too. Raleigh's got mayoral and city council elections on October 8th. And Wake County, there's school board elections and other stuff. We'll be talking about that later on, and I'll be telling you who I'm going to vote for anyway. Yeah. Can we put the music back on? We'll go out with some dancing. All right.